back to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. We had a really interesting weekend in the motorsports world. We had the Italian GP, but we also had a very chaotic weekend at Talladega Super Speedway in Alabama. It's going to be a really interesting show today. My name is Tristan Grider, joined with, as always, my incredible co-hosts, Daniel Chaney and Justin Cox. How are we doing today, boys?
Daniel, I'll let you
I'm
go
doing
first.
really good. Oh, I had that intuition.
Yeah, we were on the same page there. Hey, great minds think alike.
You already know. No, I'm doing really good. We had a pretty solid weekend of racing, and I think we've got some pretty solid stuff to cover. How about you, Jay?
Shoot, I'm right there with you, buddy. I feel like the Italian GP was very good in my opinion, and I feel like Dega was somewhat a good race in my opinion. I wish the finish was a little different, but yeah, I can live with the Ross Chastain win. But Tristan, how you feeling, bud?
You know, I am always doing fine when one of my favorite drivers wins.
Oh yeah, you already know.
So I feel like we're gonna start to get used to Ross Chastain wins, which I think
I'm not mad at that.
I'm gonna go some watermelon smash.
I'll talk about that later. I've got a kind of a bold take.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but anyway, let's go ahead and get into our first segment. As always, Motorsport Media.
All right, getting into Motorsport Media, I'm going to be starting it off today. I know it's normally Tristan, but we're going to do a little different today. I got 3 things for F1 here. So, Sky Sports is now expected to broadcast the W Series up until the end of 2024. So I thought that was pretty cool. So hopefully I get to see that on like my F1 TV app or something like that, because I would be interested in watching that. Carlos Sainz resigns. Carlos Sainz. I just thought of it on my head, but he signs with
dad joke.
Oh yeah, he signs with Ferrari until 2024. So he's staying there for a little bit now. He's locked in. So I'm glad Carlos Sainz is there.
Well deserved.
And then the last thing that I had was, I know it's in 2 weeks, but there was still some controversy on if the race was happening. The Miami Grand Prix may not have happened. I just want to let you guys know that. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, but it may not have happened due to the simple fact that residents were going to the court, like taking the race officials or whatever to court and trying to shut the race down due to noise complaints and noise pollution, etc. And very interesting, because I didn't even know about that until I saw Project Dive Bomb. Shout out to them, because that's where I get a lot of my F1 news from. But I didn't even know that until I saw them post that, I think like 5 or 6 days ago, and it was like right after our last episode. So, but yeah, I thought that was interesting because I didn't even know that. So yeah, but
yeah, it was. It's really interesting because I mean, I'm personally really excited for the Miami Grand Prix, and you know, I mean, it kind of reminds me a lot of the Nashville Fairgrounds debate that we saw last season with SRX.
Yeah,
there's 7 on the cars.
There's 7 different F1 tracks around Nashville already, so you know, like
for real.
Hey.
I forgot. I didn't know what you were talking about for a second. Oh, that.
Do you not know about that, Tristan?
Yeah, I know about that.
Okay. Yeah.
The IndyCar thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That lady. Ah, man.
I forgot about that. That just unlocked some hidden memory.
But I'll go ahead and pass this over here to my fellow open wheeler, Mr. Daniel Chaney.
Yes, sir. So we do have a little bit of IndyCar news, and more specifically, we got Indy 500 news.
Yeah, baby!
That's not the news that we exactly wanted.
Wait, it's not a 33rd car?
We don't have a 33rd car.
Dang it, man!
I know. We've still got time.
I know.
There's still time.
I'm just messing around.
And even if we don't, we've at least got 32. It's not like we're at like 29 or anything.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
It's not a significant amount missing.
Yeah. People are really undercutting. Like they're over exaggerating it. Like I get it for historical purposes. Like you want to have 33 if you can. But if you only have 32,
it's not that bad.
It's been done times before. I know it's been a long time, but like, come on. Okay, that's our weekly rant about that, because I feel like for the past 3 or 4 weeks
we've ranted
said something about that topic. But anyways, moving to the actual news, the Indy 500 has slightly tweaked their qualification style. So on Saturday, May 21st, they will have their full field qualifying like they always do. And then the day after that, Sunday, May 22nd, they'll have last chance qualifying like they always do for positions 31 through 33, assuming there's 33 cars. And then if there happens to be extra cars outside of 33, then they will have like the bump day that they do on normal years. And then moving on to how they kind of tweaked it, as opposed to just the Fast 9 that we're used to, they're changing it to a top 12 qualifying. And then the people that are in the top 6 of those 12 will move on to a Fast 6 qualifying. So similar to like what they do on road courses and street courses, but more of with kind of the Indy 500 ovals qualifying format. I'm personally kind of a fan of that. I think it's interesting. I don't know if it'll stay like that, but I think it is interesting, especially with the fact that since we're not potentially getting a bump day, they're trying to change things up, so there is still some sort of excitement. So I think this is a positive change. I could be proven wrong, but we'll only see with time.
Oh, yeah.
And then moving on to the SRX news, CBS Sports, who is the broadcaster for SRX, they unveiled who their announced team is for the second season of SRX. So the announcers will be Alan Bestwick,
The GOAT!
Matt Yoakum, and then Lindsay Sarniak. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And then Willie T. Ribbs is going to be transitioning from a driver to an analyst, not analyst. He's going to be an analyst. I don't know if he's just going to be like a commentator, but he's going to be some sort of like a broadcasting role.
Yeah.
And then they also announced that a driver analyst is going to be IndyCar's own Indy boy, Connor Daly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he'll be doing every single race because I don't know how it conflicts with the IndyCar schedule. He could be doing something like what Hinch did last year. We did half the races, I want to say. So I like that lineup. I think that's a really good announcer lineup.
Yeah. A lot of knowledge there too.
Matt Yoakum. I feel like I'm most excited about Matt Yoakum because that man is just like as a NASCAR fan. I miss Matt Yoakum.
I know. I think we all miss Matt Yoakum.
Yeah, but that's all the news I got on the IndyCar and SRX side. So I'm going to pass it over to Tristan with more of the NASCAR side of things.
Yeah, so NASCAR has been really interesting. This past weekend, we'll get into it. But we had a lot of news come out right after our episode. And we had some brand new news come out today. I guess we'll start with the news that came out today. Junior Motorsports is going to be fielding the 88 as a fifth car in the Xfinity Series for a certain number of races. And this car will be filled by Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Chase Elliott. Now, pretty cool, but I think there's one name in particular that's kind of off of that list.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Alex Bowman?
I didn't even think about that when I saw that. Holy crap.
And I get that Junior Motorsports is fielding the 88 for wins, and if you want someone to win, Larson, Byron, and Elliott might be your guy for that. But Alex Bowman is leading the team, is second in the team on wins since 2021, and like the man has accumulated, I believe, how many wins? 5 wins since this season and last season. I don't know, just seems a little sketchy on why.
You think they're doing that to try and get enough money to fill the cup car?
honestly, that's not a bad.
At least part-time.
I mean, they're gonna have to. I mean, I don't think they would. I feel like Junior would buy a charter. I feel like that
he would get a charter. He would buy one of the charters.
I don't know. That's a story for a different day.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch does not have a contract extension with JGR past this season.
Malarkey.
And he quoted from Bob Pockrass. He was said, ask Joe Gibbs on whether his contract would be extended over the next season. As most people know, M&M's will not be returning to the NASCAR Cup Series next season with Kyle Busch, and so he does not have full-time sponsorship. Kyle will have sponsorship from Interstate Batteries if he stays with Joe Gibbs, but there is a very strong and very high possibility that we do not see Kyle Busch in the 18 next season. Now, I'll say this as a quick question before we move on to the rest of my news. If Kyle Busch does not re-sign with Joe Gibbs, does he A, move KBM to the Cup Series, B, sign with a different team, Or C, do we see Kyle Busch retire from the NASCAR Cup Series? I'm going to send that one over to Jay first.
I feel like the best option out of all of those is probably B, because I don't see him retiring, because he's still, like, Kyle Busch is still pretty good. The only reason I would see him retiring is to be with Brexton and help develop Brexton into a driver. But I could only see it being B, because I feel like Kyle Busch is still, like, not necessarily in his prime, but like he's still got some years left in him before
he's won 18 years in a row.
Yeah,
like,
that's
it's not
what I'm
like
saying. Yeah.
And has a streak.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I say we would go with B. Don't ask me what team I think he'd go to, but because I wouldn't be able to tell you that. But
it's too early to tell.
Yeah,
honestly.
So yeah, that's my take. What about Daniel?
So here's the thing. My answer is option D, which wasn't listed. There's no freaking way he's leaving Joe Gibbs. Like, I as someone who likes Kyle Busch, he overreacts to everything, and that's part of kind of like what
Kyle
makes
Busch,
him a big like deal is because like
that's just his
people listen.
personality.
But what if he does leave Joe Gibbs?
If for whatever reason he doesn't return, whether that's due to sponsorship or just kind of like disagreements, or just gets pushed out because they're trying to get younger talent. Ty Gibbs.
That's true.
I think he would go to a different team. I don't see him retiring this early. He's still in his 30s. He's maybe not in the prime of his career, but he's still got plenty of years left ahead of him. I mean, he literally just won 2 weeks ago.
It's true.
So like it's not like he's washed up or anything.
Yeah.
And it's Kyle Busch. People know the name. People know who he is. He's a 2-time Cup Series champion. He's the only multiple-time Cup champion still in the Cup Series.
That's true.
And people know that reputation. I think if for whatever reason he doesn't get re-signed or chooses not to re-sign, there will be teams wanting to get him. If I had to make like an early out of the blue like hot take, probably Stewart Haas Racing. I think there's people that, I mean, obviously Almirola is retiring. Harvick is probably going to retire in the next few years, if not this year. I know a lot of people are already like, they've been in the whole Prix is going to take the 10. But if Harvick doesn't retire and Kyle Busch is on the market, would you rather have Ryan Preece or Kyle Busch? You know what I mean? And we also still don't really know how high SHR is on Cole Custer, so we could see Cole Custer getting moved out.
You also have to put Riley Herbst somewhere, because that man's been the Xfinity, and he's had a good year.
I don't see him moving up. Just being honest, I
personally think that KBM would move up to the Cup Series, and I think that Kyle Busch would drive for KBM, and I think that they would buy the one team that is selling charter that we know of, JTG Doherty Racing.
Wait, they're selling their last charter?
I'm pretty sure. Like, there's been a rumor that JTG has been on the market to sell for a while.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I had
it's just
not
a rumor
seen
at
that.
this point. It's just a rumor, but I've seen that since last offseason. That JTG is wanting to sell, and I could see KBM buying that charter, but he'd have to get it before Michael Jordan does. So
I could see 23.
Do you think 2311 would expand to 3 cars already?
No. I don't think Kyle Busch would sign with 23, but
no, I'm saying you said if Michael Jordan doesn't get to the charter, do you think 2311 would try to expand to 3 cars already?
Hell yeah. Denny said their goal is to have 4 cars by 24.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they said that.
Where have I been? What the?
Dude, I've seen, like, I can't believe you guys didn't know about this stuff. Like, this is like articles that came out like years ago. I'd have to find them, but
I didn't see any of this. Wow.
But then again, they have to win more than the one race that they've won so far.
Yeah,
because like they haven't had that great of a year. I think it'd be a little bit too much to jump up to 3 cars after having a disappointing year with 2 cars, assuming it stays this way.
Here's the thing, money.
Yeah.
So as we say a lot in the Indy Boys Racing podcast. Anyway, I'm gonna finish the rest of the news because I have a couple more.
Go ahead.
Couple more news. I'll stay with the Cup Series. This is very recent. Denny Hamlin will have to complete sensitivity training by the end of the week. So yesterday, on Twitter, Denny Hamlin posted he tweeted a meme making fun of the end of the race at Talladega. It pretty much was a Family Guy bit that was making fun of Asian women drivers, and he put the name Kyle Larson over it, and then he goes like cutting into traffic, and then it cuts to Talladega. People on NASCAR Twitter made it very aware that they were not okay with Denny putting this on Twitter, and so NASCAR has reacted with making Denny complete sensitivity training by the end of the week. Okay, let's go ahead and transition to some more of the Xfinity news. BJ McLeod Motorsports is going to scale back to 2 full-time entries. These 2 full-time entries is going to be Matt Mills and Josh Williams. BJ McLeod Motorsports is a 3-car team, which means that Stephen Parsons out of a full-time ride. That 99, we will not see it anymore full-time. So keeping with Matt Mills and Josh Williams, probably smart. They've had good success so far this year. And my last piece of news, this is more for the Cup Series this weekend. Ryan Preece is back, baby. Number 15 for RWR. That's always something really exciting to hear around the Indy Boys Racing Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and transition. We got some races to review. Let's start with F1.
All right. So, this weekend was
Xfinity Series. So, NASCAR Xfinity Series, there was one huge story going into Talladega this weekend, and that was surrounding the driver at the number 3 for Richard Childress Racing. Jeffrey Earnhardt was in the 3-car. Larry McReynolds was the crew chief. It was beautiful. It was everything that I wanted it to be.
Yes.
He comes out immediately, gets the pole. Adam Alexander messes up the call. It's great. It's great. It's great.
It's
I love
already
it.
great. It's
I love
already
it.
great.
Anyway, everyone and their mom was cheering on the 3-car this weekend if you were watching the Xfinity race.
For sure.
And it seemed as if he might get it done. However, he had to get past the 21 car of Austin Hill. However, Austin Hill kind of took himself out. Lots of cautions we saw during this race. This race went into triple overtime.
Yeah.
Lots happened. And personally, I was watching this race on my way back from Cincinnati. So I was watching it on my phone, and as the third overtime was about to start, I'm like, man, this race has gone on forever. Jeffrey Earnhardt and Noah Gragson going down the back straightaway seemed like they were the cars to beat. AJ Allmendinger, Ryan Sieg, and Landon Castle were all in contention, bouncing around each other. Jeffrey gets a run off of 4. Noah puts a big block on him, and Noah Gragson takes his 2nd win of the season. Congrats to Noah and that whole Junior Motorsports team. I just want to say this really quick. A Junior Motorsports car finished 1st, and the 3-car finished 2nd at Talladega. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah. As I mentioned, Noah Gragson finishes 1st. Jeffrey Earnhardt takes it home 2nd. AJ Allmendinger wins the Dash for Cash this weekend, brings it home in 3rd. Ryan Sieg brings it home 4th in the 38 car. It was interesting. He was not running in the normal 39 like we normally see, but he was in the 38. Landon Castle brings it home 5th for a top 5. Anthony Alfredo brings it home 6th, his 2nd top 5 of the season. Now, Riley Herbst brought it home 7th, and this was the most impressive one of the week. Joe Graff Jr. brought it home 8th, and his first top 10 I've seen him, I think, ever get. So that's a cool one for Joe Graff. 9th place went to Myatt Snyder. 10th place went to Brett Moffitt. Just outside the top 10, we saw Josh Berry and Alex LeBay, and 13th was Drew Dollar. Kind of going down. There was only 21 cars running at the end of this race. A lot of cars had damage. A lot of cars retired. We saw like Justin Allgaier have fuel pressure problems. We saw a lot of accidents, including drivers like Austin Hill, Brandon Jones, Brandon Brown, Kaz Gralla, Ty Gibbs. Mason Massey had a terrible crash. I'm very happy to see that he walked out on his own power. Daniel Hemrick, David Starr, Matt Mills. We saw a lot of guys that are very good on super speedways get involved in accidents. But I mean, I guess it just is what it is. Congratulations to Noah Gragson. Super cool for him and that whole Junior Motorsports team. Does Jeffrey get signed for the rest of the season, or do we see him make a couple more super speedway starts.
I hope so. I hope so because I feel like Jeffrey is a really talented guy in my opinion. Like he's a very good driver, and I know he's had kind of spots with JGR back. Like I think it was like 2018 or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It may have been earlier than that. I don't know, but I know he had a few starts for them, and I don't know. I don't remember exactly how they got. I don't think they went great because I feel like the team was kind of bad when. I think that might have been when JGR was first starting up in Xfinity, maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong. I have no idea. But but I know he had a few Xfinity starts with JGR, and I don't know. I just feel like he's pretty talented, and I feel like he deserves well, maybe not deserves, but I feel like he's earned a spot. Let's just say earned. Earned. Yeah.
He's earned a spot. Oh my God. Sorry. Your dad joke moment. I get mine.
Okay.
I get my dad joke of the episode.
Do I have to come up with one now?
It'll come naturally.
It'll come
naturally.
Dan, do you think that Jeffrey Earnhardt is going to be in the 3-car any more season?
Remainder of the season, no. Part-time, probably,
part-time.
yes. I don't know. I don't see them full-time expanding to 3 cars, at least not like full-time, but like I don't think they would just like make the second half of the season another full-time car, considering they're already stepping the game up with 2 full-time cars opposed to 1 full-time car for the past few years.
Yeah.
So like I could see him. I think he definitely like should get at least some super speedway starts. I don't know like every race or like half the races, but he definitely proved this weekend that he deserves a few more shots.
Oh,
and a little he showed that he deserves some respect because I feel like he hasn't really been taken seriously as a competitor, and this past weekend I think he proved that when he's in the right circumstances, like he can almost get it done, as he almost did.
And he was in very right circumstances, as he was with RCR, who's great equipment in Xfinity, and he had probably the greatest crew chief in NASCAR history on the box.
Oh yeah.
So
that'll do it, you know.
Let's go ahead and transition over to the Cup Series. This race was crazy. Starting off, we saw a bunch of cars get taken out in the beginning of this race, including Chris Buescher, Chase Briscoe, and Daniel Hemrick. Very hard hits for Briscoe and for Buescher. We saw Tyler Reddick have an engine problem.
I don't want to talk about it.
Wasn't it 3 ECR cars that had an engine problem?
Yeah, 3 ECR cars had engine problems this race. Greg Biffle had a fuel pump issue. We saw accidents including Logano, Suarez, Stenhouse, Ty Dillon, who had a great run going. Harrison Burton, Cole Custer blew an engine. Cody Ware just put it in the wall a couple times after getting turned. Todd Gilliland was involved in an accident. We had 26 cars running at the end of this race, but on the final lap, we had a pretty big incident. Coming down to the final laps, Eric Jones looks like he was going to win this race. And then as we're going down the final straightaway, Kurt Busch gets a hell of a run. Like, if Larson wouldn't have made the move that he did, we would be celebrating a 23-11 victory in this weekend, because there was no way that Kurt wasn't going to get past Jones. Like, there was no way. He had too much of a head of steam. However, that did not happen as Kyle Larson came up the track when he was not clear. We've seen Larson do this a couple times so far this season, and it's starting to get old. This is the 4th time he's done it. And I know you're a champion, dude, but come on. Don't make stupid decisions. You took out a lot of cars at the end of that race. And a couple of those cars were guys that needed good runs, like the 45 and the 23. Took out other cars like the 31. The 7 got damaged. The 24 got damaged from that. There was a lot of cars that got involved in that final wreck. But going down to the start-finish line after Jones got dumped pretty much by Kyle Larson, we saw the #1 watermelon man machine of Ross Chastain steal.
Yeah, we did. We did, baby.
Saw another Talladega moment. Ross Chastain brought it home first. Austin Dillon brought it home second. Kyle Busch brings it home third.
Oh, there's a coincidence, guys. Max Verstappen won in the #1 again, Ross Chastain won in the number one again.
Oh my gosh, it's the second time that's happened this season.
True.
So whenever Max wins, we just got to assume that Ross is gonna win, right? And wouldn't
That
it be
happened
crazier?
last time too.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazier if
Ooh,
Sam Mayer brings it
whoa.
home the same weekend?
Oh,
Wouldn't
that'd
it
be
even
crazy.
crazier if who's driving the one this season? There's no one in the
TK for
Trucks.
the 500.
who?
Tony Kanaan.
Oh, TK. That's right. Sorry, I
Yeah.
heard EK. I was like,
No.
I was like, VK is not. But yeah, I guess TK. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Verstappen wins the Monaco Grand Prix, Kanaan wins the 500, and
Chastain wins the
and
600.
Chastain wins the Coke 600? That'd be crazy.
Crazy.
That'd
That'd be nuts.
That'd be crazy. Anyway, let's read the after I just read the top three. Larson brought it home fourth. Fifth place went to Truex. Sixth place, Eric Jones. Seventh place went to Chase Elliott. Eighth place, back-to-back top tens for Michael McDowell. Ninth place was Alex Bowman. Rounding out the top 10 was Kevin Harvick. Now, I'm going to say it. We saw some guys struggle that weren't guys that got damage. We saw Austin Cindric struggle. We saw Brad Keselowski struggle. This man could not stop speeding on pit road. I believe he sped on pit road. I believe he sped on pit road 3 times.
It was every
We
pit
saw-
stop they did, yeah.
We saw Bell struggle, Hamlin struggle. It was just a rough race for some veterans, especially.
Notice how you didn't say any Chevy drivers.
Yeah, it's because Chevy's the best team this season.
Yeah.
Out of the top 10, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top 10 were Chevy. There was 2 Fords, 2 Toyotas. And if you're looking at the back of the pack, Fords make up positions 23 through 29. Like,
Dang.
some of them was for
That is
damage
crazy.
and some of them was for crashes, but I think we've landed on who the best cars are this season. It is the Chevys, and I think it's a toss-up week to week on who's better, the Toyotas or the Fords.
Yeah.
So
I mean, remember Daytona week when we all thought the Fords were just going to dominate the entire season?
I do
Oh
remember
boy,
that.
how we were wrong.
Yeah, we were very wrong. And
Yikes.
I'm gonna do a couple questions from this race.
Okay.
Now, since we've seen Ross Chastain win twice already this season, is the number 1 Trackhouse machine a championship favorite? We'll start this one with Daniel.
I said it earlier that I had a hot take about this, and my hot take is yes. I think Ross Chastain could most likely be in the championship for. Like, I won't even say like maybe. I think there's like a 70% chance.
Yeah, currently he is 9th in driver's points, but in playoffs he's 3rd. So, I mean, I think he could get it done. Jay, is he a championship contender or favorite?
That's what I'm thinking about right now. That's kind of hard though, cause like he's had really good runs at a lot of tracks that may end up inside of the playoffs. So
Yeah.
it's. I mean, it kind of if they repeat those runs later on in the season, then I personally could see him end up in the championship for maybe not winning a championship, maybe. But
By the way, that man got a top 3 at Phoenix.
Yeah.
Already this season.
yeah, so
Yeah.
because like I already have him at least getting knocked out in the top 16 in our way too early playoff predictions, but
That'd be crazy if he wins.
yeah, but
I don't
like,
even have him.
I
in
at
the
least
playoffs.
have him in the playoffs, so I'm glad I put him in there. So I'm not upset with that. But
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could see it though. I really could, honestly. At least, like the eight round of 8 people or whatever elite 8 or
Round of 8.
whatever you want round of 8, yeah.
The Elite
So,
Eight.
yeah.
And now for the driver's standings, currently Chase Elliott is up 21 points on Ryan Blaney. We've not seen any of the top 2 in drivers' points win a race this season. Do we see Chase Elliott or Ryan Blaney win over the next couple of weeks at Dover and at Darlington? I'll start this one with Jay.
So, You said over the next couple of weeks?
So we got next 2 weeks. We got 2 veteran tracks in Dover and Darlington. Do we see Chase Elliott or Ryan Blaney bring home a win in one of those races?
I mean, if Hendrick can redo what they did last year at Dover, I could definitely see Chase Elliott winning at Dover.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't win out of these 2 tracks, it's gonna be a road course in my opinion. But Blaney, Blaney's kind of having like a quiet season, but I thought he was gonna be winning more in my opinion.
Here's the thing, though. He's second in points.
I know. That's why I said he's having a
really
quiet.
consistent.
I know. That's why I'm saying he's having a quiet season. I just figured he'd be
Yeah.
winning more. Is what I'm saying. Like
That's
he
fair.
would.
In playoff contention, he's 4th in points without a win.
Yeah.
He's kind of put together a season that Denny did last year.
Yeah.
Where that I think both Chase and Blaney are. We saw it with Denny Hamlin last year, but
Yeah.
I
I can
know,
see
it's
it.
kind
I
of
can
crazy.
see it. But
But
I mean, I could see Blaney winning at Darlington probably though. I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
and
I
my
wouldn't count that
final-
out.
yeah, my final thing is that we have seen a new team fall out of the top 30 in points. I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but out of the full-time drivers that we've seen in the NASCAR Cup Series, BJ McLeod is 33rd. He's not full-time. Cody Ware is 32nd, so I guess he'd be last in the full-time drivers. Who would you guess is 31st right now, without looking at the app? Who would you guess is 31st?
I guess Spire.
It's not Corey LaJoy.
Huh.
Corey LaJoy is 28th in points right now.
Interesting.
Oh,
Daniel, we mentioned this team a little bit earlier in the show.
mention the team.
Let's just say I think they might be selling.
Oh.
Ricky Stenhouse. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 47.
Yeah.
Ricky Stenhouse is 31st in points.
Wow, that's crazy.
Is Ricky Stenhouse going to move on from JTG Doherty Racing at the end of the season?
Yeah. Yeah.
Will he move on? No, they're gonna move on.
Yeah.
I
I don't think that Ricky has deserved a better ride, but I mean, come on, the man has been running up front in a lot of races this season and gotten taken out. So, I mean, this is not the Ricky Stenhouse we used to see, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough. But
send him to Xfinity. Let him have an AJ Allmendinger revolution.
no, here's the thing, man. He's already won 2 championships in Xfinity. I don't think he can do much more down there.
Well, he's clearly not doing anything in Cup right now. So
I
I'd rather
mean-
take him being competitive in
here's the thing,
Xfinity.
He's never
Here's the
had an actual competitive car though in the Cup
Yeah,
Series.
he won the last 2 races we saw Roush win, and that was all the way back in 2017. And we saw him almost win Bristol Dirt, Talladega, Daytona, and a bunch of other races in that JTG Doherty equipment over the last 3 years. So, I don't know, man.
I feel like
It's-
Ricky's very talented. She's just never had the opportunity in Cup, in my opinion.
You know where
he-
I think he might go? If honestly,
Stuart
Colleague
Haas.
racing. Nah, bro, Colleague racing.
Okay, okay.
See, I don't think Stewart has a place for him right now. I can see him going to Colleague.
Hmm. Okay.
and,
I can see that too, actually.
Maybe driving that 16. I could see that full time.
I mean, he fits
Yeah.
their driving style because they're predominantly like super speedway, in my opinion. Super speedway
Yeah.
road course, like rounded people. So I could definitely see him fitting in there pretty well. So
I don't know. But anyway, that's all I got to say about Talladega. Very controversial weekend. So yeah, let's go ahead and transition. We got some predictions to make, boys. Okay, so I guess we have a lot of races to go over. No F1 this week, but we got some IndyCar races. We got both Lights. Finally, Lights is back after months. We got some Lights predictions we got to do. We got main NTT series of Barber we got to do. And we have the NASCAR races. Let's go ahead and start over with Daniel with the IndyCar side of things.
Are we going in IndyCar, Indy Lights, both?
Well, let's start with Lights first, I feel like.
Okay, so Indy Lights. Obviously, we're in Barber just like we are for IndyCar. Do you guys have any predictions for your winners? I'll start with Tristan.
Yeah, so I think Andretti is going to put together another really good run. I could personally see Hunter McElroy running really well this weekend. Can't count out the boy himself, friend of the show, Stingray Rob. But I think I'm gonna go with Hunter McElroy. That's my pick for this weekend.
I think it's a pretty fair pick. Jay, do you have any ideas of your pick?
I guess my picks are. I guess if we're only doing one, I'd have to go with Stingray, man. That's the guy. That's the guy, man.
For the
I'm telling you.
culture.
Yeah,
For the culture.
That's the guy. That is the guy. I gotta go with Stingray. You know what I'm saying? So
He is that guy,
that's my
pal.
pick. That's my pick. He is that guy, pal.
He is that guy.
He is that guy.
Yeah, for me, I don't think this is like an out there pick, but I think Linus Lundqvist.
Ooh,
I think
yeah.
he's gonna be
pretty
my
good, too.
pick.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
too.
He's in third right now. I think
He's also.
I think he's a contender. I think he's a contender.
I can see it.
Yeah,
So
the only other guy besides the only other guy to win a race last season besides Kirkwood and Malukas, so I could see it.
I think I don't know if he will for sure win the Indy Lights Championship, but I think he's gonna be pretty close.
Yeah.
That's my pick. So that's our Road to Indy Lights side of things. IndyCar, we are still in Barber. Who are you guys picking for this Barber race? I'm gonna start with Tristan again.
You know, this is tough because we've had a week off from IndyCar, so it's giving me a little bit of time to think about things. This season has gone a way that I did not expect it to go. We've seen drivers have great years. We've seen Joseph Newgarden and all of Penske be at the top of the charts. And while I would love to say that Penske's going to go 4 for 4, I'm going to do a little bit of for the culture pick. I'm picking Pato O'Ward.
nice.
Yeah.
This man is so good at Barber. I mean, come on. This guy knows how to win there. So I'm picking Pato for my underdog pick, like we do every weekend. This guy isn't really an underdog at Barber, seeing as he runs well there. But we haven't seen him win there in the last couple of seasons. This one might be a little bit of like a out there pick for Barber, but I'm gonna go Scott Dixon. I think that we could see Scotty. Not picking any Penske guys, but I think that we could see Scotty and get a possible podium, maybe bring it home. But Pato is my main guy this weekend.
Okay.
Picking the 5.
Yeah, I think those are some pretty solid picks. Jay, who are your picks for this Barber weekend?
Okay, so it's kind of hard to pick between my first two picks because I'm going for my preseason prediction, and I just want to see if it'll be right. And I feel like Penske is the team to beat this season in IndyCar. So it's not going to be McLaughlin. I don't think. McLaughlin, I love McLaughlin. But I don't think it's going to be McLaughlin. I don't think it's going to be Mr. Newgarden either. I got Will Power winning this week at Barber.
Okay.
Really?
I think Will Power is going to win. And then actually, not necessarily a wild card, but I guess because he's technically my second pick in preseason predictions, but I'm going to make him my wild card. It's going to be Scott Dixon. So,
Yeah, it's kind of tough because Scott's either going to have a great race or he's going to have like a mid race.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think bad, but I think mid. And I mean, he's 5th in points right now, so I mean, he's been doing decent, but
right.
This is not the Scott Dixon that we've seen win the championship over the last couple of years. So I mean,
I feel like he's gonna get at least one
when your
win this season.
teammate wins the championship last year, I'm sure
That's true.
Like, if you think about it, 3 of those 4 drivers on the Chip Ganassi team are like championship contenders.
Yeah,
honestly,
easily.
Like, it's kind of like a Penske situation. Like, really, any of them.
You think Ericsson's a championship contender?
I think he can be.
Because I was thinking to myself, I thought you were gonna go like 3 out of the 4 of those drivers are champions, and
Jimmy Johnson is gonna win every road course.
Technically, Jimmy is a champion, but like I don't really see Ericsson as a championship contender. I see him as a threat, maybe. I don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying contender, as in like he can kind of slide up there, potentially be like top 3 for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't see him winning it this year, but it's it's hard to say he's not really a
Never say
contender.
never. Never say
You
never.
know what I'm saying? I mean,
he did kind of go on a tear last
Newgarden.
season. He did kind
We
of go
didn't
on a
think
tear last
Newgarden
season.
was going to be that good last year because the first half of Newgarden's season was pretty bad, and then he finished second in points.
It's true.
By like that much.
Yeah.
It's true.
So we can't really like call anything too early. But with my predictions, at least for my like main pick, I'm gonna go away from my preseason pick because my original preseason prediction was Pato O'Ward, and I want to be different so we have more chances. I don't think he's like not gonna win. Like he's still in my like higher up picks, but someone who I'm surprised none of you said was Roman Grosjean.
It's true. It's true.
If you think about it, Barber was the first IndyCar track that he tested.
That's true.
Which means he might not know it the best, but he knows it pretty dang well for the fact that he's only been in IndyCar. This is second year, so 2 years now. I think he proved in Long Beach that he can contend for wins, especially like I know a lot of people when he moved to Andretti, they're like, yeah, he's in Andretti, but the 28 hasn't really been consistently a threat. I think he proved that car can still be a threat. I think Roman Grosjean gets it done. But my wild card, kind of out there because it's been a while. I'm going with consistency. I think Graham Rahal gets his first win in years.
Yes, sir. I love to hear that.
This man has earned it by now. He always somehow finds a way to be in the top 10. Don't know how he does it. It's kind of insane. He hasn't won in years. And I think he gets that first win in a while this weekend, potentially. I think he's going to keep running consistently. If he doesn't win, he's probably going to get a top 10, maybe a top 5. With Graham Rahal, you can never count him out. I think if he can somehow figure out qualifying, because that's been his struggle the past few years, just qualifying. He just never really starts up that far, but then he figures it out during the race and ends up top 10.
Yeah.
I think Barber is the place where he could get his first win in a while. That's my very not very bold, but kind of bold.
Not a bad pick.
Like,
Man.
yeah, that's my wild card for the week. As someone who really likes Graham Rahal, I really hope he gets it done finally.
Man, honestly.
Yeah, that'd be something.
The people are craving a Graham Rahal win.
Oh yeah. And okay, that's on the IndyCar side of things. I feel like actually, you know what? Really quick before we transition over to NASCAR, who's going to be the highest placing rookie?
Highest placing rookie. I'll
give it to Ilott this weekend.
I was thinking it, but
I feel like it's gonna be
I'm
Kirkwood, but I want to say Ilott just because I want to be different.
you know, someone who like has been running way better than like it comes off because he's not really talked about.
Christian Lingard.
Yeah. He's leading the points for rookies, but yet nobody's really talking about it just because
it's just because of the equipment, man.
It's because Kirkwood's been running really well, but like,
it's also because a lot of people think that Kirkwood's going to be like the face of the sport in a couple of years. Kirkwood reminds me a lot of Ryan Hunter-Reay.
I could see that.
Kirkwood reminds me a lot of Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Yeah,
it's like it's almost uncanny. He even looks like Ryan Hunter-Reay. Like the man is going like. I just can see it. I can just see it happen.
I can see it.
He's confident, so.
But my pick for highest placing rookie is a guy that's won at Barber. In lights, and that's my main man, David Malukas. I think that he could be highest placing rookie.
Yeah.
I hope so. I really. I
mean,
hope
I do
so.
too. I hope so.
Hey, we did a poll on Twitter. If you guys don't follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at Indy Boys Podcast, we put this on of who you guys think is going to be Rookie of the Year. And out of all of our responses, David Malukas was the highest pick. So that could be just some Indy Boys fandom from our fans, but and our listeners. But I honestly think that David's probably gonna take it home this weekend. I don't know.
Yeah.
For the rookie side of things, actually.
I can see it though.
All right, let's go ahead and transition over to NASCAR. We got 2 races at Dover. Gonna be checking in at Miles the Monster's house. Xfinity Trucks. We'll start with Xfinity. My first pick for Xfinity this weekend. We got a lot of guys that could win this weekend, and it's kind of tough to like predict who we're gonna go with. But I'm gonna go with the 18 of John Hunter Nemechek. I think that we see John Hunter get a victory part-time. He's in that 18 this weekend. I could just see it happening. My underdog pick, though, for Xfinity. This one, I could just want to have a good run. Parker Retzloff. I think that 38 car. He's back. He's back in the car this weekend. I could see Parker having a good race. I'm going with 2 part-time guys this weekend, guys. I don't know what I'm doing anymore in Xfinity, but yeah, I'm gonna go Retzloff as my underdog, and my main pick is JHN. Put this over to Jay.
All right, first pick for Xfinity. That boy JHN, bub.
See, you
I
get
was
it.
looking
See,
at
you
I was
get
looking
it.
at the entry list while you guys were talking about Indy or Barber, and I was like, that's who I'm going with. As long as he doesn't get dive bombed by his teammate, he'll be all right. But but I feel like JH is gonna win, and since we're choosing the undercard this week for Xfinity, or underdog for Xfinity. Yeah, undercard. I know. I don't know where that came from.
We're not a couple weeks ago.
He's Mike Tyson Gibbs. I'm gonna keep making that joke.
Tyson Gibbs.
Yeah. But I guess I'm about to say undercard again. Underdog. I guess not necessarily an underdog. No, I'll go with the underdog. I'm gonna go with he's just gonna be in the right position at the right time at the end of the race. Maya Snyder.
Ooh, okay, cool. Good pick. DC.
For me, why am I thinking this hard? I'm going Ty Gibbs. Like, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been 4 weeks. Like,
and for Ty Gibbs, that's a while. Okay.
Facts.
I think Ty Gibbs gets another win.
I can see
for the underdog. Not really an underdog, but I'll go Austin Hill.
Not bad.
Okay.
Another kind of didn't think he would potentially be a championship contender at the beginning of the season, but he low-key could be.
Yeah, and looking at the point standings right now for Xfinity, right now AJ Allmendinger, kind of expected, is leading the drivers' points, but for playoff points, obviously it's Ty Gibbs. For driver standings, this is going to be the top 10. AJ Allmendinger, Noah Gray, Ty Gibbs, Josh Berry, Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier, Ryan Sieg, Sam Mayer, Austin Hill, Riley Herbst, and Landon Castle are the top 11.
Mm-hmm.
One guy I think that we could see sneak in to that contention this weekend is that 10 car. I could see Landon Castle getting it done. And I don't get what's so funny about Landon Castle, dude. But I know.
That's not what I was laughing at.
I know. But I think that Landon Castle could honestly sneak in, because I think we can all agree that this is I'm so joyful getting to see Landon run well.
Yeah.
And come on, the man has quite a few top 5s this year, so I think Landon Castle could be another guy that we might see run well. All right, let's go ahead and transition over it to Cup. NASCAR Cup Series at Dover. Last season we saw pure domination by Hendrick Motorsports, getting the first 1 through 4 finish that we've seen since Roush.
Yeah.
In 2005. I believe this is only the third. That last year was the third ever 1, 2, 3, 4 finish by a team.
Possibly, yeah.
So I'm going with one of those guys that was part of that 1, 2, 3, 4.
I know who you're going with.
Really?
I think so.
Let's see if you know, because I'm going with the man that almost killed the track this year, Alex Bowman.
I think that's not.
I think Bowman, the front Roman showman. Mr. Backs in the wind, the hack. I think that Alex Bowman's going to repeat at Dover this weekend. And my underdog pick is an underdog. It's actually an underdog pick. He's been running well. He's been running really well. And he does run well at Dover. I'm picking Eric Jones. It's my underdog pick. So there you go. All right, I'll go put this one over to Jay.
Okay, so I got a few guys on my chart here that I can pick from. And actually, I was thinking about going away from the chart for this race because I was going to agree with you on Bowman. But that's not my pick. I was going to say Bowman. But my pick, I feel like I got to make the safe bet because I feel like Kyle Larson is pretty good at Dover. So I'm going to go with Kyle Larson. I guess, and then for my wild card, it's between two guys that I have as my third and my actual wild card pick from preseason. I think I'm gonna go with the one that's run better, which is Kyle Busch.
Okay.
So, those are
Okay.
my 2 picks for this weekend.
What
Let's
about
hear
you,
it.
DC? What do you got, bro?
For my first pick, so I'm gonna stick with my preseason predictions. For my first pick, I'm also gonna go Alex Bowman.
Hey.
I think he's been running pretty well.
Yes. Yes.
He's already got a win. He's Bowman. He just has kind of those random races where just all of a sudden he's just really good.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of happens.
Duh, front row.
Wild card. I'm gonna also stick with my preseason predictions. He's been running better than I thought he would be. I'm going Austin Dillon.
Knew you were going Austin Dillon. I was like thinking it in my head. I was like, this man's gonna pick Austin Dillon.
Interesting.
He's been running pretty well.
Yeah, there you go, man. I was actually about to bring up Austin Dillon because like I was gonna make him our group kind of who we think we're not gonna pick, but we're going to. Now I got to come up with a different one. And I think that group pick for all of us, I think, could be Eric Almirola this week.
Yeah.
Any regrets on any denials on Eric Almirola for the group pick this week? Jay doesn't like that one. Jay doesn't like that one. I could pick a different one. I could pick Martin Truex Jr.
Okay.
at Dover.
I mean, I guess I could agree with that, but even then, I'm still like,
Yeah.
I think honestly, Austin Dillon could be a group pick this week.
I would be fine
I'm
with
fine with
Austin
that.
Dillon. I would be
I
fine
think
with
that-
Austin Dillon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could
I'm
see
fine
him
with
stealing
Austin
that
Dillon.
one. The RCR guy that is actually in the playoffs right now.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, it's not. It's honestly. Here's the thing. Tyler Reddick's only 1 point out of the playoffs.
I know, but
And
He's most likely gonna get a win, in my opinion.
he's most likely going to get a win.
don't you jinx it. Don't you jinx it, Jay.
Here's the
Hey.
thing. I mean, I could see
Hey.
it happening anywhere. I could see it happening anywhere. As I mentioned, I think it's going to happen at Darlington. And it could be
I
a
said
road course.
Michigan. I'm saying
Super
Michigan.
Speedway.
I'm saying Michigan.
Honestly, I think he doesn't wait that long, though.
I mean,
But
because I know we talked about it last episode, but
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, those are our picks going in to this week at Dover. And for the crazy weekend at Alabama and Barber. We're going to a different track in Alabama this weekend on the IndyCar side of things. Before we close this episode out, something I really want to tell you guys is that we have really been pushing our TikTok page at Indy Boys Podcast. Make sure you guys hit the follow button over there. Check out all of our stuff. I've been putting some of the stuff we've been posting on our Instagram. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out the TikTok page. It's been going strong, pretty good so far. You guys have been putting the support in there. But go ahead and hit the follow button over there for us because we really appreciate it. Because we have a lot of content coming for the upcoming month of May.
Yes, sir.
We went out to the track, and I think we'll just do a little quick extra segment really quick. Let's talk all about testing, baby.
okay. We're talking about
is
testing.
really fun,
We're talking about
guys.
testing.
Yeah, might as well.
Let's go. Come on. Let's just
yeah,
go. Let's just get into it.
So, me and Jay were there both days, and Tristan was there the first day. They had a little section in turn 2 open to the public, and so we got to go to that. I thought a lot of people looked pretty good. Obviously, people like Scott Dixon looked good, just like they always do. But even drivers that were kind of question marks did well.
DK,
like
Dalton Kellett, baby.
Jimmy Johnson,
Jimmy
Yeah, bro,
Johnson.
bro,
Yeah.
the
Dalton
biggest
Kellett.
question mark.
Here's the thing. Dalton Kellett was top 5 day 2.
Yeah.
Like okay, DK. Like we see you over here.
See you, Dalton.
And
Certified
another-
Dalton Kellett moment.
another guy who I thought ran extremely well was Santiano Ferrucci. I thought Santucci.
Santino.
Sorry, Santino. I don't know where that. But I thought Ferrucci did really good.
I mean,
that's
Santino
23.
usually does decent on oval, so I could see him running pretty good. So
I mean, he's never not had a top 10 in the Indy 500.
I was about to say, yeah, he runs pretty good at the
Yeah.
500.
Yeah.
Like-
so. Pretty cool.
He's one of those kind of like wild cards where you know how every once in a while there's an Indy 500 winner that you look back on and you're like, oh, that's kind of a weird winner.
Yeah.
Santino just gives me those vibes of one of those people that could win a 500 just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
He backs into it, you know what I'm saying?
for sure.
he
was back into it.
I know.
he knows the track.
I
really
know,
well,
I know, I
especially,
know. He
like,
does. But it was really cool. I feel like testing, like, very own Jay Cox got some really cool pictures that I'm sure we're probably going to use for thumbnails later on in this. But there were some pretty cool pictures that he got over in turn 2. Shout out to all the fans, because we had a couple fans come up to us and say what's up and say that they watched the show. It was really cool to meet some of you guys, and we grabbed a couple pictures. It was cool to like see you guys. Something we also did is we checked out the museum at IMS. Some really cool new additions to the museum. I thought if you guys want to check out our video that we made, go ahead and check out our TikTok page again, because I posted our full like sort of vlog on our TikTok page. So that would be
pretty
definitely
fun.
Check that out. We also put that on our Instagram.
I gotta kick you guys' butt on the simulator too.
That's true. That's true. Jay did kick our butts on the simulator, and Daniel hit the wall, and someone did better than me. I was also
plus ratio plus you fell off.
I was also lifting going into the
plus
corners.
YB
But
better.
anyway, it's almost May, and they're putting up the signs downtown by the circle.
Dude, that made me happy. That made me really happy today.
Who's ready to see Lingard court? You know what I mean? And but I think it's going to be a really interesting couple of weeks for the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. We have some really big news actually coming next week. So I want you guys to put this on your calendar really quick, Indy Boys fans, because we have a very big announcement coming out on May 3rd, a week from today, next Tuesday, the day that we're going to be filming this next episode. We got a big announcement. We'll do a little bit of teasers for it, but I think you guys are really going to be excited, and we are super excited for the way they build content. So yeah, it's almost May. 5 days away.
It's gonna
baby.
be May.
It's gonna be May. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting, so exciting. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Indy Boys Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and give us likes, ratings, downloads over on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all of them, baby. Thank you so much to the Marion Phoenix for putting us on your website the entire semester. It's been super fun working with you guys.
For sure.
Until next time, my name is Tristan Grider, signing off for Daniel Chaney and Justin Cox. Let's go ahead. We're back at IndyCar racing this weekend, boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, we are.
Oh, yeah.
Have a good one, guys. Peace.
Have fun.